Welcome back to Scary Skyrim Stories, and today we will be going over the Exodus. I have a question for you. If you are a parent, or if you were one, and your kid got sick, no doctor, no hospital, no matter where you went, they couldn't treat your kid's illness. But you hear this rumor, and it's not known very well where this place is or who lives there or if anybody lives there at all. Would you go there in hopes to saving your kid? Or would you accept the fact that there is nothing nobody can do and it's only a matter of time? Let me know. Anyways, enjoy. Varala was a little girl, beautiful and sweet-natured, beautiful and smart, beautiful and energetic. Everything that her parents had dreamed she would be. As perfect as she was, they could not help but to have dreams for her. Her father, a bit of a social climber named Munthan, thought she would marry well, perhaps become a princess of the empire. Her mother, an insecure woman named Sinetta, thought she would reach greatness on her own as a knight or a sorceress. As much as they wanted the very best for their daughter, they argued about what her fate would be, but both were wrong. Instead of growing up, she grew very ill. The temples told them to give up hope. The Mages Guild told them that what afflicted Varala was so rare, so deadly, there was no cure. She was doomed to die, and soon. When the great institutions of the empire failed them, Munthan and Sinetta sought out the witches, the sorcerer hermits, and the other hidden secret powers that lurk in the shadows of civilization. "I can think of only one place you can go," said an old herbalist they found in the most remote peaks of Hrothgarian mountains. "The Mages Guild at Olenveld." "But we've already been to the Mages Guild," protested Munthan. "They couldn't help us." "Go to Olenveld," the herbalist insisted, "and tell no one that you're going there." It was not easy to find Olenveld, as it did not appear on any modern map. In a bookseller's in Skyrim, however, they found it in a historic book of cartography from the Second Era. In the yellow pages there was Olenveld, a city on an island in the northern coast, a day's sail in summer tide from winter hold. Bundling their pale daughter against the chill of the ocean wind, the couple set sail, using the old map as their only guide. For nearly 2 days they were at sea, circling the same position, wondering if they were the victim of a cruel trick. Then they saw it. In the midst of crashing waves, there were twin crumbled statues farming the harbor, long-forgotten gods or heroes. The ships within were half sunk, rotten shells along the docks. Munthan brought his ship in, and 3 walked into the desert island city. Taverns with broken windows, a plaza with a dried-up well, shattered palaces and fire-blackened tenements, barren shops and abandoned stables, all desolate, all still, but for the high keening ocean wind that whistled through the empty places and gravestones. Every road and alley was lined and crossed again with memorials to the dead. Munthan and Sinetta looked at one another. The chill they felt had little to do with the wind. Then they looked at Varala and continued on to their goal, the Mages Guild of Olenveld. Candlelight glistened through the windows of a great dark building, but it brought them little relief to know that someone was alive in the island of death. They knocked on the door and steeled themselves against whatever horror they might face within. The door was opened by a rather plump, middle-aged Nord woman with frizzy blonde hair. Standing behind her, a meek-looking bald Nord about her age, a shy teenage Breton couple, still very pimply and awkward, and very old, apple-cheeked Breton man who grinned with delight at the visitors. "Oh my goodness," said the Nord woman, all afluster. "I thought my ears must be fooling me when I heard that door knocking. Come in, it's so cold." The 3 were ushered in the door, and they were relieved to find that the guild did not look abandoned in the least. It was well swept, well lit, and cheerfully decorated. The group fell into introductions. The inhabitants of the guild house in Olenveld were 2 families. The Nords Jalamar and Nadi, and the Bretons, Lywell, Rosalind, and Old Winster. They were friendly and accommodating, immediately bringing some mulled wine and bread, while Munthan and Sinetta explained to them what they were doing there, and what the healers and herbalists had said about Varala. "So you see," said Sinetta tearfully, "we didn't think we'd find the Mages Guild in Olenveld, but now that we have, please, you're our last hope." The 5 strangers also had tears in their eyes. Nettie wept particularly noisily. "Oh, you've been through too much," the Nord woman bawled. "Of course we'll help. Your little girl will be right as rain." "It is fair to tell you," said Hjalmar, more stoically though he clearly was also touched by the tale. "This is a guild house, but we are not mages. We took this building because it was abandoned and serves our purposes since the Exodus. We are necromancers." "Necromancers?" Sonetta quivered. "How could these nice people be anything so horrible?" "Yes, dear," Nettie smiled, patting her hand. "I know. We have a bad reputation, I'm afraid. Never was very good, and now that well-meaning but foolish arch-magister, Hannibal Traven. May the Worm King eat his soul," cried the old man quite suddenly and very viciously. Now, Winster," said the teenage girl Rosalind, blushing and smiling at Sonetta apologetically. "I'm sorry about him. He's usually very sweet-natured." "Well, of course he's right. Mannimarco will have the last say in the matter," Hjalmar said. "But right now it's all very well awkward. When Traven officially banned the art, we had to go into hiding. The only other option was to abandon it altogether, and that's just foolish, though there are many who have done it. Not many people know about Olenveld anymore, since Tiber Septim used it as his own personal graveyard," said Luell. "Took us a week to find it again, but it's perfect for us. Lots of dead bodies, you know." "Luell," Rosalind admonished him, "you're going to scare them." "Sorry," Luell grinned sheepishly. "I don't care what you do here," said Munthin sternly. "I just want to know what you can do for my daughter." "Well," said Hjalmar with a shrug, "I guess we can make it so she doesn't die and is never sick again." Sonetta gasped. "Please, we'll give you everything we have." "Nonsense," said Nettie, picking up Vrala in her big, beefy arms. "Oh, what a beautiful girl. Would you like to feel better, little sweetheart?" Vrala nodded warily. "You stay here," Hjalmar said. "Rosalind, I'm sure we have something better than bread to offer these nice folks." Nettie started to carry Vrala away, but Sonetta ran after her. "Wait, I'm coming too." "Oh, I'm sure you would, but it'd ruin the spell, dear," Nettie said. "Don't worry about a thing. We've done this dozens of times." Munthin puts his arms around his wife as she relented. Rosalind hurried off to the kitchen and brought some roast fowl and more mulled wine for them. They sat in silence and ate. Winster shrugged suddenly. "The little girl has died." "Oh!" Sonetta has gasped. "What in oblivion do you mean?" Munthin cried. "Winster, was that really necessary?" Luell scolded the old man. Before turning to Munthin and Sonetta, "She had to die. Necromancy is not about curing a disease. It is about resurrection, total regeneration, transforming the whole body, not just parts that aren't working now." Munthin stood up angrily. "If those maniacs killed her—" "They didn't," Rosalind snapped, her shy eyes now showing fire. "Your daughter was on her last breath when she came in here. Anyone could see that. I know that this is hard, horrible even, but I won't have you call that sweet couple who are only trying to help you maniacs." Sonetta burst into tears. "But she's going to live now, isn't she?" "Oh, yes," Luell said, smiling broadly. "Oh, thank you," Sonetta burst into tears. "I don't know what we would have done." "I know how you feel," said Rosalind, patting Winster's hand fondly. "When I thought we were going to lose him, I was willing to do anything, just like you." Sonetta smiled. "How old is your father?" "My son," Rosalind corrected her. "He's 6. From the other room came the sound of tiny footsteps. "Vrala, go give your parents a big hug," said Hjalmar. Munthin and Sonetta turned, and the screaming began. Now, I know the story isn't so scary, just more unsettling. But I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Now, I've picked up this book plenty of times, because I'm pretty sure it's a skill book. But I remembered the name. And I never read it. And I'm kind of sad that I didn't. I really enjoyed that story. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I can't appreciate the support on this series enough. I am streaming now, and I have been for a little bit. Right now I'm doing a legendary survival challenge on Skyrim, and then the next one I have planned will be really fun. So if you want to see that, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Or if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button too. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.